Happy Easter. Okay, and this was a very nice introductory music by Johann Sebastian Bach, whom I love, I adore. In German, mein Gott, ich liebe dich von Herzen. So, my God, I love you from my heart, bottom of my heart, if you like. So, we're going to proceed in a sec with Charlie's Lightning, but before that, just to say that not only religiously speaking, we are in the, of course, Easter period, but in the secular world, there are some very important observances rather. Is today Chinese Language Day. Tomorrow is World Creativity and Innovation Day, so very, very important. On Tuesday, International Mother Earth Day, and as you will see, there are some, nature-related ceremonies and other things. Then we have got on Tuesday it's also World Book and Copyright Day, and then of course on Wednesday it is St. George's Day, the Day of England, and it is also English and Spanish Language Day. So really nice. And also just to say, tomorrow would have been the late Queen Elizabeth II's 99th birthday, would have been tomorrow. So let's remember her as well. So welcome as you are on this very festive day. And we're going now to light the chalice, and I will read a blessing after that, as we usually do in our services. It's going to be a bit difficult. Yeah, if not, I've got a magic weapon under there. So. Thank you for singing so beautifully. That's very lovely. And now we move on to a slightly different part of the service. As you can see, there are some candles at the bottom there near the lectern, and they are candles of joy and or concern. So you're more than welcome if you want to. It is not, of course, mandatory. If you wish to light a candle and say something very brief, though, not really for to go on and on, something very joyful or something that is a concern, or both, if you prefer. And within reason, I will obviously say that this might be the last one or whatever it may be. So if you come up here, please do that and try to be as brief as you can. So I can start us off if you want, but if you want, you can also start it off. I don't mind. So let me start it then. To a little bit of meditation. We have done this particular meditation once again, but some time ago. So you might remember it. I'm not entirely sure. So I invite you to close your eyes, be as comfortable as you like, ideally feet on the floor, but it's entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter. And choose something. What is this something? Can be a place, can be a concept like freedom or whatever it may be, can be an object, but can also be a person, if you like, that you regard as sacred. Now, what is the quality in it that evokes the sacred for you? So what is it that makes it sacred? Okay, for me, freedom is one of these, and human rights, definitely. What values or virtues does it represent for you as a person? So think about that, of course. Are they values or virtues that find an echo within you as a person? Is the sacredness an inherent quality of it? Or does it shine through it, as if its source is somewhere else, like the divine, for example? Just focus for a while on your sacred place, or concept, or thing, or person. Allow its virtue to shine for you. Hear its inner music, smell its perfume. So we have now 2 minutes to reflect on that, and then I will call you back to this space. So 2 minutes to reflect on that. Now, very gently, let the place, the concept, the thing, or the person fade from your mind, gradually, slowly, and just focus on the virtue itself and recognize its reflection in your own heart. And as you're doing that, you can begin to open your eyes and return to this space. Very gently. And we now move on to listen to a very beautiful story, I think, called The Right Moment, and to be read by Sheila. So thank you, Sheila, for...
The Right Moment. Rabia, a great Sufi mystic, was passing. It was the street she used to pass every day on her way to the marketplace, because in the marketplace she would go every day and shout the truth that she had attained. And for many days she had been watching a mystic, a well-known mystic, Hassan, sitting before the door of the mosque and praying to God, "God, open the door. Please open the door. Let me in." Rabia could not tolerate it that day. Hassan was crying. Tears were rolling down, and he was shouting again and again, "Open the door, let me in. Why don't you listen? Why don't you hear my prayers?" Every day she had laughed whenever she had heard Hassan. She had laughed. But it was too much today. Tears. And Hassan was really crying, weeping, crying his heart out. She went. She shook Hassan and said, "Stop all this nonsense. The door is open. In fact, you are already in." Hassan looked at Rabia, and that moment became a moment of revelation. Looking into the eyes of Rabia, he bowed down, touched her feet and said, "You came in time. Otherwise I would have called my whole life. For years I have been doing this. Where have you been before? And I know you pass this street every day. You must have seen me crying, praying." Rabia said, "Yes, but truth can only be said at a certain moment, in a certain space, in a certain context. I was waiting for the right, ripe moment. Today it has arrived. Hence I came close to you. Yesterday, if I had told you, you would have felt irritated. You may have even become angry. You may have reacted antagonistically. You may have told me, "You have disturbed my prayer, and it is not right to disturb anybody's prayer. Even the king is not allowed to disturb the prayer of a beggar. Even if a criminal, a murderer, is praying in Mohammedan countries, the police have to wait till he finishes his prayer. Only then can he be caught. Prayer should not be disturbed." Rabia said, "I had wanted to tell you this, that, Hassan, don't be a fool, the door is open. In fact, you are already in. But I had to wait for the right moment. So may the moment of renewal come at the right time for us too."
Thank you, Sheila. Very beautifully read. And now we move on to a different kind of ceremony there, using the altar, which we do not use very often. And this is for an earth spirituality kind of based call of the directions, east, west, north, and south. That's going to be done in two parts. First is the invocation of these 4 points, and then later in the service will be to say farewell to them. So I have asked, 4 people. One will be the east, one the west, one the south, one the north. We start from the east, we go all the way around clockwise, and then anti-clockwise later on back to the east. So all I need now is the person who is the east to come up and just light the candle after I read, please come to your spot, and then I will read this invocation, and then you can light the candle. Invocation of the East. And you can have your eyes on that lovely tree if you want, and on Linda as well. So, be with us here, spirits of the East, bless us with the gift of air, the breath of life, the new beginnings of each dawn. Hail and welcome. May there be peace in the east. Blessed be. And if you put the marches next to the south, that would be great. Thank you. And now the person who is the south, invocation of the south. So please come and wait by the southern spot, and I will let you know. Be with us here, spirits of the south. Bless us with the gifts of fire, the heat of passion, the light of love. Hail and welcome. May there be peace in the south. Blessed be. Thank you. I do not mind if you get flame from the other candles, don't worry, because it's getting quite wet in the south and the west, maybe, and the southwest. Right, now the west. So please get ready. Invocation of the west in a few seconds. Be with us here, spirits of the west. Bless us with the gifts of water, the fluidity of the stream, the depths of the ocean. Hail and welcome. May there be peace in the west. Blessed be. And now some time for reflection again, with just a minute and a bit. Johann Sebastian Bach again, Badinerie, which I adore. Oh, have we done? Sorry, yes, we've got the north, right. My goodness, the spirits will come after me, I think. The spirits of the north, right, okay. So, the north. So who's, yeah, sorry, Steve, yeah, that's right. We cannot miss you out, Steve. There we go. So then, let's go to the north and be with us here, spirits of the north. Bless us with the gifts of earth, the stability of the mountains, the abundance of meadows. Hail and welcome. May there be peace in the north. Blessed be. Let's see if the north winds extinguish the flame now or not. No, they have not. Well done. Right, and now is the lovely music by Bach for just a minute or two, and then we continue later on with readings. And now we move on to a few readings, two by me and one by Caroline when we come to that. First, from the Christian Bible or the New Testament, if you prefer that way, Luke chapter 24 and verses 1 to 12, and that's from the New International Version. On the first day of the week, very early in the morning, the women took the spices they had prepared and went to the tomb. They found the stone rolled away from the tomb, but when they entered, they did not find the body of Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground, but the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, he has risen. Remember how he told you, while he was still with you in Galilee, the Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day be raised again." Then they remembered his words. When they came back from the tomb, they told all these things to the 11 and all the others. It was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary, the mother of James, and the others with them who told this to the apostles. But they did not believe the women, because their words seemed to them like nonsense. Peter, however, got up and ran to the tomb. Bending over, he saw the stripes of linen lying by themselves, and he went away, wondering to himself what had really happened. The second reading is by Erin Keeley Marshall. It is biblical, but she adds her own reflections, a very short one. She's quoting first from Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 10. "Sing to God a brand new song, sing his praises all over the world. Let the sea and its fish give a round of applause, with all the far-flung islands joining in. Let the desert and its camps raise a tune, calling the Kedar nomads to join in. Let the villagers in Selah round up a choir and perform from the tops of the mountains. Make God's glory resound, echo his praises from coast to coast." And she adds her comments. "Spring, spring, spring," she says. "Can you smell the fresh breeze through my open window? Ah, I love the freshness of spring each year. I walk taller, feel healthier, enjoy more color in my face and a boost in my energy. Everything about spring breathes of life and newness. I love seeing green fields with baby calves reaching up for a drink from mama." And now we come to the third reading that is going to be read by Caroline. This is from the book by Reverend Cliff Reed. On page 12, there is a nice passage about, do Unitarians celebrate Easter? And we'll hear the answer from Caroline.
Yes, do Unitarians celebrate Easter? Most Unitarians do, but with perhaps 3 separate, although not mutually exclusive, perspectives. First, there is a view that in the stories of Jesus' resurrection, we have a powerful myth. This celebrates the triumph of the human spirit, exemplified in Jesus, over all that would crush it and even over death. Second, from a more specifically Christian standpoint, is the belief that the loving spirit of Jesus triumphed over death and passed into the community of disciples who formed the early church. The body of the faithful thus became the physical resurrection, the risen body of Christ. Inasmuch as a religious community continues to embody that loving spirit, and then it continues to embody the resurrection, most Unitarians would doubt the literal veracity of the gospel resurrection accounts. Some, though, see them as based on vivid spiritual experiences undergone by several of Jesus' followers in the aftermath of his death. These then play an important part in convincing the disciples that his spirit was still amongst them. The third principal way in which Unitarians celebrate Easter is as the festival of life's renewal in the spring. The earth's resurrection after winter's apparent death is something that affects us profoundly as dependent children of nature. Many Unitarians therefore feel that it is a time of deep spiritual significance in itself. They point out that the word Easter is derived from Istra, the name of the ancient Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring, fertility, and renewal.
Thank you very much, Caroline, for reading that. And now we move to another hymn, number 163, from the Green Book this time, or, the words on the screen, of course, as well. Those who seek wisdom. Again, if you wish to stand in body or in spirit, please do. 163 from the Green Book, Those who seek wisdom. Seated. And now we move on to the reflective address, which is very short, you're pleased to know. And unusually, it starts with a blessing, which is nice. So, Scottish blessing, just before I start, of course, the proper reflective address. May the blessing of light be on you, light without and light within. May the blessed sunlight shine on you like a great peat fire, so that stranger and friend may come and warm herself at it. And may light shine out of the two eyes of you, like a candle set in the window of a house, bidding the wanderer come in out of the storm. And may the blessing of the rain be on you. May it beat upon your spirit and wash it fair and clean, and leave there a shining pool where the blue of heaven shines, and sometimes a star. And may the blessing of the earth be upon you, soft under your feet as you pass along the roads, soft under you as you lie out on it, tired at the end of the day. and may it rest easy over you when at last you lie out under it. May it rest so lightly over you that your soul may be out from under it quickly, up and off, and on its way to God, and may the Lord bless you and bless you kindly. Amen. So, some call it Easter, some call it Passover. Some trace its roots back to the Jewish tradition, others trace its roots to pagan traditions. Nevertheless, Easter for many is a deeply spiritual occasion rooted in the Christian tradition, commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. However, for Unitarians, the significance of Easter can be viewed through a broader lens, one that emphasizes personal renewal, the power of hope, and the enduring human journey of transformation. But, as we saw in the story earlier on, this can only happen at the right time for each and every one of us. As Unitarians, we draw inspiration from many religious, ethical, philosophical, and other secular traditions or belief systems, and we find in Easter a rich metaphor for renewal, growth, and the triumph of life over despair. While we may not adhere to the literal interpretation of the resurrection, we can still embrace the underlying themes of transformation and spiritual awakening, which are central to this season. Easter serves as an invitation to reflect on the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, both in the natural world and within our own hearts and minds. Spring, the season in which Easter falls in the Northern Hemisphere, is an apt symbol of renewal. Nature's rebirth, from the budding trees to the return of followers and the longer days, offers a living reminder that life is constantly evolving. In a world which often seems fraught with challenges, this annual revival opportunity offers hope that we too can experience growth after periods of hardship, hopefully when the time is right, as the story told us. For many Unitarians, Easter is a time to reflect on personal transformation and the potential for renewal in our own life. We can take this season as an opportunity to consider where is it that we might seek growth. Whether that means mending broken relationships, healing from past traumas, or recommitting ourselves to our values and aspirations. Renewal is not simply about erasing past mistakes, but about learning from them and using them as lessons to foster wisdom and compassion in ourselves, but also in others. In Unitarian thought, resurrection can be understood not only as a spiritual event, but as a metaphor for the resilience of the human spirit. We live in a world where suffering and loss are inevitable, as we see in all areas of conflict around the world, yet we also possess an innate ability to rise from these experiences, to find meaning in our struggles, and to begin anew. Easter, then, in this sense, becomes a symbol of the human capacity to reinvent our own self, to find hope and courage, even in the darkest of times. Moreover, Easter provides an opportunity for us to consider the broader human experience as we reflect on the renewal of the earth and the revival of hope, we can also think about the need for societal renewal. Unitarianism emphasizes justice, compassion, and a commitment to creating a better world here and now, not in some distant future. The message of Easter can therefore extend beyond personal renewal to social and collective transformation. Whether we are working for equal opportunities, racial and or gender justice, environmental sustainability, or greater economic equality, we are participating in a collective resurrection. A movement towards a more just and compassionate world about which many a book has been written. For example, Karen Armstrong's book entitled 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life, which is a book I would strongly recommend if you wish to do some reading in this festive season. So that was Karen Armstrong's book entitled 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life. It's a very beautiful book. At its heart, Easter calls us to remember that no matter how heavy the burden we carry, there is always the possibility for new beginnings. It invites us to live with renewed purpose, grounded in love and in hope, and to carry forward the lessons of resilience and of transformation. The promise of Easter is that life, in all its forms, is capable of renewal, and that we too can embody this renewal in the choices we make each day, both personal and collective. For Unitarians, Easter serves as a reminder that while we may walk through seasons of suffering or loss, the potential for renewal is ever present. It is a time to embrace the cyclical nature of existence, to find hope in the darkest moments, and to know that we're a part of a larger, ongoing process of transformation, individually, collectively, and spiritually. May I wish you a peaceful, uplifting, and transformational Easter week, which begins from today, of course, and may the message of renewal gain greater prominence in our community, in our society, and in the whole world. So be it. More music for you. As we had a Sufi-inspired story, now we have some Sufi-inspired music. And I welcome you, of course, to reflect upon what you have heard or anything else, or any personal, thoughts and reflections. Welcome. And mindful of the time, we will skip, I think, a little poem that I had, and we will go now to say farewell to the 4 points. This time we go anti-clockwise, so the north is first. And after I read the blessing, then please extinguish the fire in whichever way, the flame rather, in whichever way you choose. So if you go to the north spot, so farewell to the north. In the name of the Great Mother and the element of earth, we thank the spirits of the north for the gifts of stability and abundance. Hail and farewell. Thank you, Steve. And then we go west. In the name of the great oceans and of the element of water, we thank the spirits of the west for the gifts of fluidity and depth. Hail and farewell. Wonderful. And then the south. In the name of the great sun and the element of fire, we thank the spirits of the south for the gifts of light and love. Hail and farewell. And then we move east. Yeah, some flames refuse to be extinguished, of course. Right. In the name of the great winds and the element of air, we thank the spirits of the east for the gifts of breath and beginnings. Hail and farewell. Thank you. And our last hymn is number 264 from the Green Book again, Spring Birds of Hope. And again, you may wish to stand in body or in spirit. And after that, we will have a closing blessing. But let's do our hymn first, 264, Spring Birds of Hope from the Green Book.
Will
so beautifully. And the closing blessing. As we prepare to leave this sacred space, may we carry with us the light of love, compassion, and the message of renewal that Easter brings. May our hearts be filled with peace and our actions be guided by justice and kindness. Let us walk in the world with open and compassionate hearts, ready to meet each moment with courage and grace. May we find strength in community, and may our spirits be renewed in the days ahead. Go in peace, and may the flame of love, hope, and renewal burn brightly within you. Amen. So be it.